YouTube. What's going on? Appreciate y'all watching the videos. Got a haircut. Got all cleaned up. Got all that hair off my face. Looking clean, man. What's going on? Milkman, what's going on? Oh, man. Milkman. What's going on, Milkman? He's stealing money. What's going on? Oh, man. That's what happens when you go home every weekend, man. You get a chance to shave, you know. You booking all the loads. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what's going on? NY Trucker, what's going on? Milkman. Yeah, man, I was you know, I'll be home every weekend, man. Don't lie today. All right, Milkman, I won't lie today. Hey, Everett, what's going on? Appreciate you watching my videos, man. I mean, I know I'll be home on the weekend, but this weekend, I was busy this weekend, man. Because when you running a business, it's like, yeah, I wasn't running no lows, but I was still working on the business. I was doing my books and stuff. I was just going through my books, getting ready for, taxes and whatnot. Matter of fact, it's what this video is about, taxes. So I was going through my books for 2017, and I had a lot of stuff going on for 2017. 2017 was an interesting year. 2017 was an interesting year. It was an interesting year. I was at Snyder. I got a new truck. I turned that black truck in. I turned that black Snyder Finance truck in, and then I got this truck. It's a Snyder Finance truck, but this truck was a little bit cheaper. This truck was a little bit cheaper, but I spent a lot of damn money last year. I spent a lot of money last year. Wow. It's amazing how much money, when you're running a business, you spend a lot of goddamn money. Wow. I mean, I spent all day, did I spend all day Sunday? I pretty much spent all day Saturday. I say most of the day Saturday going through my books and stuff. And going through receipts and fuel and all this stuff I spent money on, man. When you running these trucks, man, you spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of money in these trucks. We spend a lot of money in these trucks. It's just ridiculous how much money we spend. So last year I did about 170,000 last year. Pretty much the same amount of money I did the year before last. But what's interesting was that I took home more money. I took home more. I took home about $10,000 more dollars. I worked less, ran less miles. Last year I did about 114,000 miles last year. Now the year before that I did almost I think it was like 125,000 miles. Something like that. 125,000 miles the year before that. So this year, well, 2017, so I was like, that's interesting. I know this year I'm going to run less miles. I know this year because already I'm only doing about, I'm only doing about 1,500 to 2,000 miles a week. And I'm making more money. So I already know I'm going to be doing less miles this year. But last year, I was at Snyder, went to Travel Loco. I spent a lot of money last year. I spent a lot of money starting up that authority. I bought a trailer. Spent a lot of money on fuel. I spent about $35,000 on fuel last year. Spent $35,000 last year on fuel. Another $36,000 on truck payments. I had about $6,000 in maintenance. About $6,000 in maintenance last year. $5,500. About $5,500 in maintenance. It was crazy. Like I bought a couple tires. I bought that starter in the beginning of the year. I did some maintenance on the APU. I did PMs. I bought the coolant reservoir for the truck. I bought that bumper. I hit that deer when I hit that bumper. I had an interesting year last year. So I was just going through my taxes, man. This is wow. You know, I made 170,000, and I've had probably like a good 120, maybe $125,000 in deductions, man. Like, it's crazy. So I'm probably gonna get a refund this year because I had a lot of deductions last year. So I'm probably gonna get maybe a $5,000 refund because I sent the IRS about $10,000 last year. Something like that, about $10,000. So I'll probably get a $5,000 refund. So my effective tax would probably be around $5,000, $6,000 or something like that. So just going through my taxes, man. I spent a lot of money last year. And like I be telling y'all, you know, is a lot of y'all be scared and stuff, but you know, you spending this money, it's a tax deduction, you know, so it's a tax deduction, you know. Averett say leasing to somebody kills you. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm starting, like, even in my first 30 days, I was going through my numbers for the first 30 days. I'm making $2 a mile. I'm making $2 a mile. Last year, being leased on to Traveloco and Snyder, I was making about $1. Now, this is for the whole year. I know most of it was for Snyder, but I have to go back and see, like, between September and December, what I was making from, compared to Traveloco, compared to Snyder. So I have to go back and actually separate them. But for the whole year, I combined the whole thing. Combined, I did $1.48 a mile the whole year. And I know with Snyder, I probably did maybe $1.30, probably with Snyder, and then with Traveloco, it's probably like $1.70 or something like that a mile. So, but I can tell you right now, with my own authority, I'm probably doing about $2.50 a mile already. Already. I can just tell you that first 30 days, and we ain't even peak freight season yet. We not even peak freight season. So when freight, like June, July, August, May, June, July, August, when freight peaking at the top and them rates be real good, yeah. So, you know, doing $1,500 for 300 miles, $1,800 for 300 miles, you're gonna see them rates go up. But, you know, I'm just sitting up here, man, just thinking, man. Last year was an interesting year, man. It was an interesting year. Okay, Everett Madison say, no. The Apocalypse say, how much profit net revenue after taxes did you make as an owner? Net revenue was somewhere around it depends, like, how you look at it, because the way that I structure my taxes, I try to structure it where I pay the least amount of taxes as possible. So it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to get approved for a loan or something like that, you don't want to structure your taxes where you're paying the least amount of taxes as possible. So, but the way that I did it, it depends, because I try to put as many deductions as I can in there, so I pay the least amount of taxes. I put everything in there. So, I mean, these are legal deductions. I mean, I bought fuel, I bought a trailer, I paid insurance. I had almost $120,000 in deductions. You know what I mean? But, like, a lot of guys don't do their own taxes. So they don't get, a lot of guys don't understand what a lot of guys just don't even understand what their truck be doing, you know? So, but it depends on how you look at it. But after truck note, fuel, insurance, you're probably looking at a good 75 to 80,000, right? But then once I put in, like, per diem, because you got the business has its deductions, and then I have to go in and put in my own personal deductions. Okay, because the business has got its own deductions, so I'm gonna go in and put in, okay, my per diem, write off my mortgage, my interest on my mortgage, go in and write off personal expenses, you know, I'm probably looking at paying taxes on maybe about 35, 40,000 a year, something like that. But profit is probably somewhere around $6 60, 70,000, something like that. It's probably somewhere around there, you know. But you got to structure your taxes where you pay the least amount of taxes as possible. So that's you know, because a lot of guys, they're gonna say, "Oh, you only made 35,000 on paper." Yeah, on paper, that's, you know, it only shows I made 35,000, but reality, I probably made about 70, 80,000, something like that. You know, so it just depends on how you do it. You know, doing your taxes and stuff, because, you know, like, you don't want to, like, a lot of guys, you know, a lot of guys be running around talking about, "Oh, I made 150,000." Yeah, you're gonna have to pay taxes. You don't want to have you want to have all that money on you like that, because you're gonna have to pay taxes on that money. You want to find some deductions and make your tax liability as low as possible. You want to make it look like you only made 20,000. That's how you want to make it look like. So that's what you want to do. Let's see. Everett Madison say with his 2 trucks, he do 480K gross and net 220. Net 220. Yeah, something like that. But I hope you taking some deductions, man. Shoot. I'll be trying to take as many deductions as I can. Shoot. Take the home office deduction. All them deductions, man. I'll be trying to spend as much money as I can. Because we live in these trucks. You know, you can write everything on. Food, clothes. You can write everything on. NY truckers say, do you pay yourself a salary when within your company? I pay myself a salary, but not in a traditional manner. So you know, some guys would be like, "Yeah, I pay myself a salary, but I pay myself a salary, but I don't have a payroll company. You know, I just set up a amount in my business checking account that I send myself, you know, because, you know, the way that I got it set up, I have a business checking account where I have a totally separate login. You know what I mean? So, you know how, like, when you go to a bank and you got to log into your account? So I have a personal account, and then I have a business account. My business account is totally separate person. It's got its own login. It's got its own address. It's got its own emails, a separate package. And then to log into my personal account, that's where I do my personal business. I pay my mortgage, personal bills, buy gas, and stuff like that. On my business account, it's all business. Okay, I pay business bills. I pay the trailer payment, truck note, insurance, all that is business. So what I do is I have about $600 a week coming out the business, going to my personal. So if you look at it like that, do I pay myself a salary? Yeah, kind of, sort of. But, like, in order to really pay yourself a salary, you got to get a payroll company. You know, get a payroll company. It's a bunch of payroll companies out there. You're probably looking at anywhere from about $50 to $100 a month to get a payroll company for one person. If you got multiple people, like, I've seen some accounts where, like, it'll be $50 a month and then maybe $10 or $15 extra per person. Or it'll be $100 a month for the first 2 people and then maybe an extra $10, $15 per person. Um, you know, they'll give out a check stub, and they'll pay your FICA and all your miscellaneous deductions and stuff like that. So that way you separate yourself from your business. But in that sense, I don't pay myself a quote unquote salary, but I do have a set amount from my business checking to my personal to keep track of what I'm paying myself. So that's, to answer your question, do I pay myself a salary? Yeah, no, kind of. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Thank you for dropping this knowledge for us upcoming truck drivers. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to share with y'all, man. Wait a minute. Wait. Is this the Sinister? What's going on, man? I watch your videos all the time, man. Sinister the Trucker, man. What's going on? What's going on, man? Hey, I've been trying to get at you for a minute. Hey, send me your phone number, man. jhtrucking45@gmail.com. I gotta holler at you, man. You be putting out some good motivational videos, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I would say it's between you, Jeff Rail, Casanova, and it's a handful of guys that I look up to, and you one of them, man. You a very motivational dude. You very positive. Like, if you want to hear something good and positive, go over to Sinister the Trucker, man. He'll get your mind right. You know? Like, he's kind of like me, but toned down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I be cussing in my videos, but I be like, get a fucking truck. But with Sinister, he's kind of saying get a truck, but in a different way. So he's like, man, get up, go get it. We got to get out here and get this grind, get this money, get it, run hard. You know what I mean? So when it gets tough out here, and you know you having a bad day, you just gotta keep going, man. Just gotta keep going. So I salute you, Sinister the Trucker, man. I appreciate you watching my videos. It's an honor. You helped me out a lot, brother. Finally going home after being on the road since January 3rd. Oh, you been on the road since January 3rd, man? I know you've been making money. You a young cat, Trevon Walters, man. Shoot, you a young cat, man. Get that money, man. Shoot. I don't know how old you are, but last time I checked out, what, you young? Shoot. Get that money. Stay out there. Shoot, get that money. Pile up that money, man. Get your truck paid for, and get you a truck and trailer, and go buy you a house. You know, you can invest in mutual funds, man. Javon, let me see. Javon say, I net 42K and got no bills. That's what I'm talking about. See, since January 3rd, let's see, January, February, March, 42,000 in what, 3 months? That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. 42K in 3 months. I mean, of course, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money. So you're probably looking at a good, let me see, 42K times 15%. Hold on, 42,000 times 15. Yeah, so you're gonna pay about $6,000 in taxes, $6,000 to $7,000 in taxes. So you make 42K, man. Just put about 7K on the side that you don't touch. Either you can pay your quarterlies with that, or I don't recommend paying your quarterlies, but you know, pay the government something just to let them know, just to keep them off your back. That's what I do. I send the government about $3,500 every 3 months. You know, a lot of guys don't agree with that. You know, like Jeffrey L., he's got a different model when it comes to paying taxes, but I pay about $3,500 every 3 months with my quarterlies. I don't even really think about it. I just pay them $3,000. I gotta like with the IRS. With the IRS, you can set up an automatic withdrawal. You can set up an automatic withdrawal. Let me show y'all. I forgot the name of it's the tax payment program. I think it's EFS or something like that. I forgot what it was. I'm trying to find it's got like your password and all that stuff on there. And so for the next 12 months, for the whole year, you can just pretty much set up an automatic withdrawal. I just set up an automatic amount, about $3,000, and it's on a payment schedule because they're to pay your taxes, it's a due date. Every 3 months on the 15th, you got a due date. So April 15th, April, May, June, July. So July 15th, July, August, September, October 15th, October, November, December, January, and then January 15th of 2019. So you got 4 payments that you can set up automatic withdrawal, and I do about $3,000 every quarter. That just keeps the IRS off your back. You got to send them something. Even though you might get a refund, you just send them something. I mean, some guys, they wait to the end of the year, and you never know. You never know what might happen, man. And with the IRS, I'd rather just send it to them so they have it, because you might mess around and spend that money. You know, you just might mess around and spend that money, and you don't want to get behind with the IRS. The IRS is nobody. You don't want to get behind with them people. You get a tax lien on your credit, you messed up. You can't get a job. You can't get a loan. It's very hard to get stuff when you got a tax lien. Like if you got creditors, you know, banks and stuff calling you, yeah, that's bad. But if you get a tax lien on your credit, that you don't want to mess with that, man. That's a big ding on your credit. Like bankruptcy is bad, but a tax lien on your credit, a tax lien is worse than bankruptcy. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm trying to find a doggone, EFTPS, yeah. I'm trying to find the letter. You get like you get account number, and you log on there, and you can set up the payment dates, and then you just set up $3,000 every quarter. Boom, boom, boom. And once you just set them something, you send them something. And, hold on, who is that? Hey, babe, how you doing? I'm doing a video for them. I'm trying to help them get their tax life together. I'm trying to help them, you know. I'm trying to tell them. I'm trying to find the doggone account. I'm trying to find it. Oh, man, I'm trying to find it. But anyway, I do that with the Fed. I do that with the Fed, and I do that with the state. So I send the state $500 every quarter, and I send the Fed $3,000 every quarter. So automatic withdrawals. So if I come up short, the government will give you a break because you sent them something. You know what I mean? So say if I sent them $5,000, say I sent them $10,000 for the year. Okay, I start doing my taxes, and then I owe them $15,000. Well, you only have to come up with $5,000, not the whole $15,000. You know what I'm saying? So that's the deal with that. I mean, you know, we out here running trucks. Yeah, we don't want to give up that $15,000. I know we don't want to give it up, but you got to pay them. That's just what it is. The IRS, you don't want to mess around with the IRS. You just don't want to mess around with them people. When we looking at priorities, you know, priorities in life, we got air, water, food, and the IRS. that's all. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm appealing for fair to make that's what I'm trying to tell them. Pay them something. Getting on a payment plan of any kind with the IRS is good. Paying your quarterlies is good. Anything showing some type of effort in your part is good. I mean, send them something. Just send them something. Because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, I owe $20,000, and then they go in the closet and hide and think it's gonna go away. Oh, I owe $20,000 and then run off and try to hide and think it's gonna go away. No, man, you need to call the IRS up and get on the payment plan right now. Get on the payment plan right now. Because them people will take your money. They will take it. They will garnish your wages. They will take houses. They will take cars, jewelry. They will take their stuff. They don't play. Okay? I'm telling you, the IRS, like, they look in your checking account, they will take that money. They don't need to send you a letter. They don't need to send you correspondence, an email, nothing. If you owe them back taxes, they will just reach in that account and take it. They will take money out your pay. They will take it. They will take it. You go to your checking account and you be like, oh, what happened? You got a garnish on your accounts. Your accounts have been frozen. You don't want to get behind with them people. Chase, Bank of America, you put them on the back. You just tell them, hey man, I got to catch up on my taxes. I get to y'all in a minute. You don't mess around with the tax. You don't mess around with them people. Run them money. I appreciate it, babe, but I don't want to get you in trouble. But, you know, folks start finding out who you are, you know, then I don't want you to get in trouble. But, you know, I appreciate it. But yeah, so take your heavyweight title, my heavyweight title. I don't even know what you're saying, man. What you saying? All right, well, let me see. I'm leasing. Allegedly, I earn 88% of gross load. My issue is I don't believe that what they're telling me is the gross load is correct. Have you experienced this lease? When I was at Snyder, you don't really deal with that because you don't get to see the rate cons. You don't get to see the contract that Snyder negotiate for the load. So you just don't. Because you know Snyder is getting all the money on the load. Like, I talk to shippers and receivers at Snyder all the time when I was over there. I was talking to a Frito-Lay warehouse manager, whatever his name was. He was telling me I was picking up a load coming out of Louisiana going up to Kathleen, Georgia, Perry, Georgia. That load was paying $900, but after talking to the guy, he was telling me that they pay Snyder. Snyder charged them. It was a ridiculous number. It's like $2,500 on the load or something like that. I was like, oh my God, like that's not even. That's nowhere near close to 65%. That's not even 65%. You know, I've seen Frito-Lay loads on the load boards, and they pay 35% more when you're independent. PepsiCo and Frito-Lay, they're the same company. Frito-Lay, PepsiCo owns Frito-Lay. So when you see a load on the load board and it's light, like 10, 15, 20,000 pounds, more than likely it's a Frito-Lay load. 90% chance it's a Frito-Lay load. I've booked a couple of those loads And like, I remember running the same load. I used to run a load from Memphis to from Memphis to Jonesboro, Georgia. At Snyder, that load would pay like 900. I got the load when I was at Travel Loco. I got that load. I think I got it for like 1,500 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, and after Travel Loco takes that cut, I'm still getting like 1,300, 1,400. You know what I'm saying? So if an independent can get 1,500, I know the load is going for at least 2,000 or 2,500. You know what I'm saying? So if the load is paying 2,000 to 2,500, no, I take that back. I got that load for 1,900. No, it's not. It wasn't 1,500. It was 1,900. I remember it, because it was a late night pickup. The appointment was like 6 o'clock at night, and yeah, I got the load out of Memphis, and it went down to Jonesboro, Georgia. I got that load for 1,900. It was a Frito-Lay load. I used to run that load, that specific load, from Memphis to Jonesboro, Georgia, because Frito-Lay has got like a little warehouse there. It's only live loads. It's no dropping hooks. Well, they do have dropping hooks, but it's for the Frito-Lay drivers. Outside carriers don't do dropping hooks there. So it's a live load. They do live loads, live unloads. I got that load for like 1,900. I could probably go in my books and like find the actual load, but I remember it now. It was a ridiculous rate. It was like 1,900. And when I booked it and I looked at it, I was like, damn, I pick this load up all the time at Snyder. So when we talking about Snyder, yeah, man, they getting more off the top of the load. Yes, they are. But when we talking about a carrier like Travel Loco, MAG, Great Wide, Landstar, Roadrunner, where you actually directly call the brokers yourself and they send you the Raycon directly to you, then there's no reason for them to be getting money off the top, because you're getting the Raycon. You're seeing the load. You actually see the load. It don't go to your dispatcher, then your dispatcher send it to you. No, man. Like, and a lot of times the Raycons be Raycons directly from brokers. So like when you get a Raycon, all these brokers out here got different Raycons that look different. You know, they just look different. So like I'll get a Raycon from Epps Logistics. Epps Logistics use a different like workflow system. Their workflow system, I think they use it's a workflow system that it generates Raycons and carrier packets and stuff like that. I forgot, it's a fleet management system. I forgot. McLoy. I think it's McLoy. Epps uses McLoy. And then you got different companies, they may use RMIS. It's, you know, how the Raycon is generated. So it's a form, and they just put the information on there. They put the rate, they put the load number, the shipper, receiver, the pickup number, all that stuff on there. So if you're getting Raycons from your carrier, like if it says your carrier name on the top of the Raycon, they might be getting some money on the top. But the Raycons that I get different types of Raycons. I get Raycons from Uber Freight, Convoy, Epps Logistics, Dart, C.H. Robinson, Coyote. Like all those Raycons format, they look different. So Coyote's Raycons, they have a certain format. C.H. Robinson Raycons have a certain format. So it's kind of like going to McDonald's and going to Burger King, or going to Five Guys. Like, all these burger joints are the same, but they just have a different format. So that's something to pay attention to. So when you get a Raycon, like a Raycon isn't just a piece of paper. It's like it's just all the Raycons just look different. You know, like I can pull up some Raycons for you and show you like all the different company Raycons. They all just look different, man. So I don't see it. That's just something to pay attention to. You know, I'm waiting for them to pull my trailer up. That's why I keep looking. They should pull my trailer up right up over here. Let's see. It's 10 o'clock. What time is it? 40 minutes? I'm up here running my mouth. Think I'm going to get off here. Anyway. I wish IRS would give new business 2 years tax break. Actually, they do. The first 3 years in business, the IRS doesn't expect you to make any money. So there are some tax breaks in the code for new ventures. You know, there's a little bit of leniency when it comes to like writing stuff off, because they're not expecting you to actually make a profit. So you can pretty much like write every goddamn thing off in to some extent, you know, because you don't want to write shit off to where it'll trigger an audit. Then you know, but I mean, a lot of guys be scared of audits, but if you keep up all your business records and stuff like that, an audit is just a formality. It would be a learning experience, you know. So it's just, a lot of guys be scared of audits, but ain't nothing to be scared of, man. It's, if you've been doing everything legally, following all the rules, like, what you scared of an audit for? Unless you're doing something illegal, you selling drugs, or you taking money from employees, you're not paying monthly. You know, if you got a C corp or S corp corporation and you're not paying your corporate taxes, and you're not paying your employees FICA taxes and stuff like that, you stealing money from the company, then you might want to be scared. Then you might want to be scared, because now you could be brought up on charges. Okay, you can go to jail for that. But if you are just small business, you paying your taxes, and you might have made a mistake in your reporting or something, and it triggers an audit, well, that could just be just a formality. And then, okay, you get called in for an audit, then, you know, either the agent calls you, or you have to go to an office somewhere. They come to your business. You just give them your paperwork and be like, okay, you're delinquent $5,000. Pay us the $5,000, or, oh yeah, we see there's an issue here. Blah blah blah. You know, it's, I mean, a lot of times it's a learning experience, because like a lot of guys don't take responsibility of their taxes, man. Take responsibility. It's your business. Just because you hired accountant, that don't release you from all responsibility of your tax burden. No, man, it's your business. Take responsibility. So if you got an attorney, if you got Jesus, I'm getting tongue tied. If you got an accountant and he's doing your books for you, well, you need to be going over those books and making sure everything is right, you know? So ask questions. Go to his office and sit him down. You know, ask for a phone appointment and go through your books, you know, and be like, okay, there's this, I didn't do this. What is this? What's this and that? Ask questions. I can tell you many stories I've heard of people like, oh man, I got an accountant, man, I'm good. And then they have no idea what's going on with their business. They have no idea what's going on with their business, man. It's like, as a business owner, you need to know what's going on with your business. You need to know what deductions you can and can't take. You need to know, okay, what's the difference between an S corp and a C corp? You need to know the difference between filing as an S and filing as a sole proprietor. What can actually benefit your business? Can you benefit from being a sole proprietor or a S corp? Can you benefit from a C corp? You got a lot of guys that have no idea. They think, oh, well, I'm an S corp, so I don't have to pay the 15% tax. You know, I got a payroll company. Like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like you're gonna pay the money either way. You paying the money. It's like, okay, if you don't pay the 15% tax, you still gonna have to pay FICA. You got to pay a payroll company. You got to comply with corporate. You got to comply with federal corporate guidelines when it comes to reporting. So when you run an S corp and you're Inc., you got to comply with federal reporting guidelines. You got to get a factoring company, not a factoring company. You got to get a payroll company. You got to pay payroll taxes. You got to have K1s, the whole nine. If you don't have that stuff in place, you're in violation, corporate law. So to me, I don't think that's worth it, because I'd rather file as a sole proprietor. I just pay all the stuff on the Schedule C and pay my 15% tax and be done. It's a cleaner way to do business. But you're going to hear a lot of guys talking about, well, man, I got a payroll company. I don't have to pay 15% tax. You're spending the money either way. If you gross $100,000, right? If you got two companies, Company A made $100,000, Company B made $100,000. Company B is an S corp. Company A is a sole proprietor. This company here paid 15% self-employment tax. It was like $15,000 in taxes. Just for example, $15,000 in taxes for Company A. Company B is an S corp. It's got to pay FICA. It's got to do K1s, W-2s, and all this federal garbage that you got to comply with, right? Both companies are going to pay the same amount of money once you're done. Your payroll company is going to charge you about $1,500 a year to manage your FICA and all that, okay? Then you got to comply with federal guidelines, okay? Federal quarterly, monthly reporting. If you don't report, you're in violation. If you don't pay on every 30 days or quarterly or whatever like you're supposed to, you can get penalized for that. So proprietor, they give you a break. They give you a little break. They give you a little break. On this side, you have to comply with corporate guidelines and on the personal side. Okay? If you don't pay, so like both companies gonna pay the same amount of money. You might pay a little bit more on the corporate side because your corporate got to pay taxes and you got to pay taxes. You could kind of like defer a little bit, break it down as dividends, okay, and pay yourself a reasonable salary, okay, and then the dividend, you don't have to pay taxes on, quote unquote, dividends, whatever. But you're going to end up paying the same amount of money. Why make it that complicated when you can just be sole proprietor and just pay your 15% and go on about your business? That's how I look at it. But you're going to have a lot of nerds out here talking about, oh, well, I got a payroll company. I don't have to pay 15. Stupid. I don't know what you're talking about. But that's just my opinion, man. So this is what I suggest. If any of you guys planning on coming out here and getting in business, this is what you do. You get a tax program. You get you $150,000 in revenue for Company A. Put in some deductions and see how much it's gonna be. And then you run that same tax program with $150,000 in gross revenue with some deductions and run it as a C corp or an S corp or whatever with FICA taxes and all that, and see what it's gonna tell you. And I guarantee it's going to come out the same because I've done it. And because I was kind of curious, okay, if I file as an S corp, what is that going to benefit me? If I file as a sole proprietor, LLC, single member LLC, whatever, blah, blah, will I benefit from that? So that's just my opinion. Try it out and see what you get. I guarantee you what you're going to find out, there's a threshold right around 80,000. It's a threshold right around 80,000. You break even right around 80,000. And it really don't benefit you until you start making, you know, I'm talking about personally, when you start taking home more than like 80,000. When you start taking home about 100,000, 120,000, 120, 25, 150,000, now it makes sense to go ahead and file as an S corp, because you can give yourself a reasonable salary, and the dividends don't have to be subject to the 15%. Now you can save a bunch of money. But if you don't break 75, 70 to 80,000, getting a payroll company don't matter. You end up, you giving yourself more headache, subjecting to yourself more risk, more BS to put up with. You know, that's just my opinion. Tommy Guns, man, where you been? I'm lying. Zilla lying about his loads. ATBS ain't worth a damn. Every year I owe the IRS over $3 grand. I'm running a sole proprietor. Well, it's not ATBS, man. It's not ATBS. It's you. Don't blame it on ATBS, man. You are running a business, okay? ATBS is providing a service, okay? So what you need to do is log on to your ATBS account, look at all your P&Ls, and figure out, why are you owing $3,000? Why? Because I know at ATBS they sent out the quarterly payment slip thing to pay your taxes. I don't pay attention to that because I know my business. I know my business. So I don't pay attention to that. Because what they have on there, they be like, oh yeah, pay this much. I already know in my mind that, okay, I know what I'm gonna have to pay, because I know my business better than they do. And it's like you giving ATBS too much power. Okay, you need to sit down and look at, because doing your taxes ain't hard. And like, guys, we need to get this out of our mind, that taxes is just this hard, scary kind of thing that is to deal with. Doing your taxes ain't hard, man. Doing your own taxes is not hard at all. It ain't. It ain't. If you can add and subtract, it ain't hard. You got gross revenue $150,000. You spent $50,000 on fuel. You spent $40,000 on truck note. You spent this on maintenance. You spent that on maintenance. Whatever you got left over is what you pay taxes on. So after deductions and everything is said and done, if you made $40,000, that's what you pay taxes on. So if you having to pay $3,000 every year, you need to figure out, okay, it's something that you're not reporting. Either you're not, something's going on, man. It's something going on. So you need to find, either they're not giving your per diem, they're not crediting your per diem, or you not putting in enough maintenance. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I can tell you, since I've been doing my own taxes, man, I never had to pay that much. I mean, I always got a refund, you know. I always got a refund. So, and that's why I say you need to do your own taxes, man. Like, you know your business better than anybody. I mean, ATBS, they just providing a service. They don't care. They just put numbers in the computer, send you a slip. They don't, I mean, it ain't ATBS, man. Like, you need to figure that out, you know. I mean, some people say, okay, find a local tax person that can sit you down and explain all that. I mean, it's, yeah, you know. I had a tax person long time ago, but they was expensive. They was charging me $200 a month. You know, I didn't, you know. Hey, my trailer ready. My trailer ready, y'all. Bring me my trailer. ATBS is a joke. And don't write off everything as a CPA would. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. They just providing a service. I use ATBS, but I only use them as a bookkeeping service. I don't use them for tax questions, and I don't use them as a business consultant. They're just bookkeeping. They just keep track of my bookkeeping, data entry type stuff. So like something as simple as like entering like all my accounts receivables, all my loads and stuff like that I can just pay somebody to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that. So I just need them just to give me my gross revenue that I did and keep track of some basic expenses, some fuel and stuff like that, and give me my cost per mile. I can go back and put in my per diem. I can go back and put in, in my own spreadsheet, go back and put in, okay, I did this, and I did that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the reason why a lot of people get upset about ATBS. I hear a lot of guys get mad about ATBS because they want somebody to hold their hand to do their taxes for them. They want somebody else to run their business. They want to get in business, right? They want to get in business and want somebody to hold their hand. That ain't what business is about, man. You got to understand, you're starting a business. You got to be accountable. You got to be responsible and take responsibility of your goddamn business. Okay? Stop blaming ATBS. Okay? It ain't ATBS. Because that's not what ATBS is there for. That ain't what they're there for. And it's like you guys putting a lot of what's the word? You're putting a lot of hope. You're putting a lot of pressure on ATBS when that's not what they're there for. That's like going to McDonald's and expecting a 5-star gourmet meal. That ain't what ATBS is there for. So that's just my opinion, And I think for $60 a month, that's what I pay ATBS. I pay $60 a month. I think that's pretty cheap for somebody to do my bookkeeping. That's all they're there for. I don't ask them about tax questions and my deductions, and I don't go to them for that. I just need them to keep up with my gross revenue, my fuel, and my truck payment and trailer payment. That's it. I don't go to them for that. So then once I have all the deductions, I go back and put in all the other stuff. I go back and put in, the other stuff, per diem and all of that. So that y'all not taking responsibility for y'all business. That's just all this is. Y'all, ATB is that and this and that. I'm not advocating ATBS. You just gotta understand what you paying for. For $60 a month. $60. What is that? $15 a week for somebody to keep up with my books? That's cheap. Because if I didn't do it, if they don't do it, I would have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just part of like a time management thing. Like, I can pay them $15 a week to keep up with all my loads. Okay, I did $5,000 a week. Okay, to pay somebody $15 a week, that's nothing. It's nothing. That's how I see them. But a lot of guys gonna disagree. ATBS won't write certain things to avoid a claim to be being audited. Like I said again, Tommy Guns, ATBS, when you set up with ATBS and they send out that little slip to pay your taxes and whatnot, it's on you to pay it. You don't have to pay what they tell you to pay. It's You don't have to pay that, man. Like you're you own the business, man. Like, oh man. But anyway, nothing wrong with paying taxes. Taxes help the country operate, feel entitled. You got a refund because you got mortgage, dummy. You pay money and interest over 30-year mortgage, which is crazy. You pay mortgage. If you have children, pay your tax-free and lower your income reference. So all you do is send your invoices. Exactly. Exactly. DMC, you got it. Because I know what ATBS is there for. I know what they're there for. So I just send them my Raycons. On this side, I just send them a Raycon. You know, they just calculate, okay, I gross 20,000 for the month of February and March. That's it. I get that report and I print that P&L out because ain't nothing really on the P&L because I don't send them nothing, but I send them a few receipts, my Raycons, and I send them my scale tickets and some other things. So then once I go back and do my taxes, I know what my per diem is. I know how much money I spent on. I keep track of that myself. Those are little small things I can keep up with myself. But when you're talking about running loads in a week, in a month, that's just a lot. So, it's just better time management for me. If you go buying that expensive $120 ATBS program, I don't recommend it because you're not getting much out of it. I spoke to one of those guys and it don't seem like they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like the guy was trying to, because I got a rental property, right? So the guy was trying to tell me some deductions that I couldn't take as a rental property. And we got in a back and forth. I was like, man, no, because I've claimed that deduction plenty of times and I never got audited. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is, but Carlos say you got a refund due to your 30-year mortgage is pimping you. I mean, yeah, but you got to live somewhere. For what I pay in Atlanta for my mortgage is very small to live. I got a 3-bedroom house, about 1,400 square foot. My mortgage is like $450 a month. Okay. Principal and interest, my mortgage is $450 a month. Taxes and insurance brings it up to about $600 and some change. It's about $600 a month. If you look for any kind of apartment or anything like that in Atlanta, I guarantee you it's gonna be at least $1,000 a month, at least. So, yeah, I gotta pay for a little bit of maintenance. I gotta cut the grass. Things break down, but some things break down. I pay out of pocket. Like depending on what it is, certain things around the house, yeah, but getting a $5,200 deduction on the interest that you paid and your taxes, that's not really a big deduction. It's only like a $5,000 deduction because a $5,000 deduction only equates to maybe $1,500 off on your taxes. So the 1,500, the $5,000 deduction that I get on my taxes for having a mortgage, I only get effective maybe 1,500 off. You know what I'm saying? It's like 15%, somewhere in there. It's like 15%. So I'm looking at maybe about 1,500. So when we talking about the tax refund that I get, that I'm looking at my taxes, I'm looking at, most of the tax refund that I'm getting is all business. It's not personal. So the refund that I'm projecting that I'll probably get is due to my per diem, the expenses from the truck that I ran, and the little 1,500 that I have for my house and stuff like that. That's very small when we talking about all the deductions that I'm getting. So when we talking about that, it's like, but the point is, the thing is, like with Tommy Guns, what he's trying to point out, as if I don't know that, okay, a 30-year mortgage is not a good decision, a good financial plan. I know that. But at the same time, it's offset because I got rental properties. You know what I'm saying? I got rental properties. So the rental properties, that offsets the 30-year mortgage. So that's why it's like, okay, when I bought that house, it was like, what were we talking about? 12 years ago. I bought that house 12 years ago. I had no idea how a 30-year mortgage affected your, I had no idea how a 30-year mortgage affected my income over a 30-year period. I had no idea. I was like 25, 20. I was 24 years old when I bought that house. Okay. 34. Yeah. I was about 25 years old. So all I knew was that I wanted to get a house and get a house. So I got the house. But once I got into it and started becoming financial illiterate, once I started becoming financial literate and financially inclined, start understanding what a 30-year mortgage does to your income over a 30 period of time. Yeah, I know that it's a waste of time, but I can't walk away from a 30-year mortgage. I have the house, so I might as well live in it. There's nothing I can do about it. So for you to say that, okay, oh, I'm dumb for having a 30-year mortgage, but yeah, dog, but you're going to have to live somewhere. Yeah, I can live in the truck, but you're going to have to live somewhere. But the thing is that I own the place. I can rent it out. I can live in it. I can do what I want with it. So it's like I have flexibility. So, because a lot of times, like a lot of guys, we like to point out things that's like to dog somebody out. We gonna turn our nose down at somebody, right? So that's what Tommy Guns is trying to do. You know, it's like, oh, you got a 30-year mortgage. That's why you're getting a refund. No, me getting a refund has nothing to do with having a 30-year mortgage, because my 30-year mortgage only represents maybe like 10% of the refund. You know, if I had a bunch of kids or something, yeah. But the bulk of it is because I'm in trucking. When you're in trucking, you get a lot of deductions. Okay. The truck note, fuel, per diem. Per diem is $20,000. Per diem is a $20,000 deduction. Everybody want to call me now. Per diem is a $20,000 deduction. 18 to 20, something like that. You can't tell me $20,000 deduction versus 5. You can't tell me that, okay, I'm getting a refund because I got a mortgage. No, man. No. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't tell me, okay, I spent $40,000 in fuel. I spent $35,000 in truck payments. I had $5,000 in truck maintenance. I had this. I spent a bunch of money in insurance. I spent $6,000 last year in insurance last year. I started my authority. I was able to write off my authority, the insurance that I spent on my authority, all that stuff. I wrote off all that stuff. You're not gonna tell me a little $5,000 deduction on interest from my mortgage company has something to do with me getting a refund. You don't know what you're talking about. You know, it just goes to show a lot of guys, they want to get accountants and just have training wheels for their business. Don't get mad because you irresponsible. Okay, that's all this is. You trying to put the responsibility on an accountant when they're just an agent doing your paperwork for you. That's all it is, man. So if you get audited, it ain't because you're accountant, it's because of you. It's because of you. Take responsibility there. Because when the IRS calls you and they say, hey man, we gonna audit you, we gonna do this, they're not gonna call the accountant, they're gonna call you, because it's your account, it's your social security number, it's your EIN number. Because you decided not to get educated and learn about taxes, the IRS don't want to hear that. It's just like going to court and you tell the judge you was ignorant of the law. They don't care. They're gonna bring you up on charges. It's not their fault because you was ignorant on the law. Okay, you can't blame the accountant. Stop blaming the accountant. It's your business. And that's the problem I'll be trying to tell guys. That's the whole point of my videos. It's like, take responsibility. Okay, it's like, it's not Snyder's fault you're not making no money. It's not the IRS fault that you have to pay. It's not you, like everybody want to blame everybody. Stop doing that. It's like, so you want to get mad at me because I have an explanation on the reasons why things happen. The IRS ain't gonna call ATBS if your taxes messed up. The IRS gonna call you. They're gonna call you. It's your responsibility. It's your taxes. Cut it out, man. Nikki J, what's going on in here? Don't let that man stump you. No, he ain't stumping me because I know what I'm talking about. He's talking about things like, it's like, you know, like when somebody's mad about something and they're going through something, they want to blame somebody else. And that's what's going on. Oh, ATBS, they said this. No, it ain't ATBS, dog. It's you. Take responsibility. It's your business. It ain't ATBS business. It's yours. Take responsibility. If you delinquent on your taxes, it ain't IRS, it ain't ATBS fault. It's you. Okay? The IRS gonna call you, not ATBS. So, oh, well, ATBS told me I had to pay. No, the IRS don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear that. You only getting back 25% each dollar interest on your mortgage. That's what I'm trying to tell them. So when we writing off mortgage payments on your taxes, it represents a very small percentage because interest payments is not a dollar for dollar deduction. You got a difference between tax credits and tax deductions. It's totally different things. Tax deductions, tax credits are totally different. Tax credit is a dollar for dollar deduction. Tax deduction, you lessening your taxes, so you have to pay taxes on the money. So if you get a $5,000 deduction, it probably effective. You probably maybe like $1,000. You know, what's this dude talking about? What you going on? I'm just trying to educate these guys, trying to get these guys responsible on running a business. That's what it is. These guys blaming other folks because they had to pay taxes. No, man, it's your business. Take a Saturday, take a Sunday, sit down and go through your books and figure out why the fuck you paying $3,000. Don't blame it on ATBS. Blaming is your business, man. Trip. Fuck taxes. These shits voluntary. They don't need your money. Okay. Hey, okay. When the IRS call you up, tell them that. Tell them what they say. Lies, plenty of apartments, less than 700. Hey, whatever, Tommy Guns. Hey, whatever, man. What kind of plan do you have for your retirement? I got a plan for my retirement. Do you got one? You'll be running up and down on the road in these trucks for the rest of your life. I feel you just moved back to ATL. I'm paying $1,200 a month on the house's rent. That's what I'm telling you. what I'm paying for a mortgage in Atlanta is like nothing compared to what you can get to live a roof over your head in Atlanta. It's nothing. Okay. And now when we talking about rent, you got to pay rent by the first. If you don't pay rent by the first, depending on the place that you stay at, they'll have you on the third day, they'll have your stuff out in the parking lot. Okay. I'm paying a mortgage. Before my mortgage accounts get anywhere close to delinquent, it'll probably be like 6 months before I get foreclosed on. I could probably live in my house for a whole year before the sheriff come and kick me out. You know what I'm saying? But that's worst case scenario. By that time, you could probably figure out, if you're going through bad times. But if you got an apartment and you can't pay your rent by the first, by the third day, they're kicking you out. And see, like, I think about things like that, and you got to have like a plan, have like exit strategies and plans and stuff like that. Just like leasing this truck. So it's just like, if I'm late on my mortgage, I got another 15, 30 days to come up with the payment. If I get behind on my mortgage, it gets delinquent like 90 days, I still got another 90 days to come up with the payment. Yeah, it's going to be past due, but that still gives you time. You still got a roof over your head. Ain't nobody knocking on your door. And, yeah, so I kind of look at that as a deduction. So instead of paying $1,200 a month for rent, I got a mortgage when I only pay $600 a month. I'm already getting the deduction. Damn, the interest that I'm getting off my taxes, I'm already saving $600 a month. When I look at the market rate to live, a roof over your head, I'm already saving $600 a month. Anywhere from $400, $500, $600 a month. So you do the math, I'm saving $10,000 a year already. I'm saving $10,000 a year already. Maybe about $7,000 or $8,000 a year. So let me see what Tommy Gunn's saying. DMC, no shit, dummy. Gotta cost 3 times more. I swear, Tommy Gunn's act like he know everything. He got an answer for everything, Anywhere else in the world, when you pay for land, only dumbass USA keeps tax for the land we paid. I don't think that's just USA. I think that's all across around the world. All the countries that's built off the crown, they all built off Great Britain's. All the countries like USA, Europe. You got some countries and some other countries. They're all founded on the crown, Great Britain's law. So we all inherit that law. So when the pioneers built this country, we inherit that law. So taxes, all that stuff, that's all been inherited from the Victorian age, medieval times. All that stuff has been inherited to us. So we follow that same type of law. So when we talk about taxes, when somebody dies and it goes back to the state, well, that's why you got to have a will, man. You got to have a will, have a trust, a state set up, so that way when you do die, you create a corporation, get a state planning together. You create a corporation so that when you die, the stuff don't go back to the state. So that way it stays in the family. But that's where education comes in. A lot of my videos, I'm a very proponent on education. Because if we're not educated, we don't know about this stuff. We don't know about getting wills. We don't know about getting an executive or estate, establishing estate planning and stuff like that. We don't know about that stuff. So when we die, we can have all this money, right? but then when we die, we don't have a plan for it, and it just goes back to the state. You know, it's just a shame. Per diem is $55 a day. Nah, per diem is actually $61 a day. I think it's about $61 a day. For transportation employees, it's $61 a day. It goes up $1 every couple of years, but last time I checked, I think it's about $61 a day. Yep, I wouldn't know how to act in Atlanta. I've been in Cali all my life. Because you make no profit on that market. Okay, Tommy Guns, if you say so. Atlanta, #1 in bankruptcy. Car repos. And I don't know about Atlanta, but I know what my checking account say. I know what my business say. I know what my life says. So I don't know about Atlanta bankruptcy and all that. And like, okay, Tommy Guns, all right, let's think about this. Bankruptcy. Bankruptcy isn't bad. I know we think bankruptcy is bad, but it ain't bad. You know, bankruptcy is a tool. It's one of the best tools known to man. You know, being able to charge off stuff and still keep your shit and write it off. In 5 to 10 years, your credit will be fresh, and you know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing wrong with bankruptcy, man. Car repos. What's wrong with a car repo? You know, like guys be like folk just be scared like credit, like it's like folk be scared of credit, like it's you know. Home foreclosures. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some people just silly, man. Let me see. I mean, I'd say the best thing you could do is you could pay cash for a house. I think that's the best way to do it. But, you know, not everybody got 50,000, 100,000 to go buy a house, you know, but that's the best way to do it. Like one of my rental property, I paid cash. I paid $35,000. It's my rental property is 1,300 square foot. It's a townhome. I paid $35,000 for it. $35,000. Now the market in that area easily is like 70, 80,000 in that area. But I bought it off of auction for 35,000. So that's how you deal with that. You kind of offset the numbers, you know, because if you look at market rates for like housing in an area, and if it's $1,000, and if you can get housing for $500 or $600 a month, you already saving money. You just put that money in the mutual fund. You just put that money in the mutual fund, man. But a lot of people don't look at that. They get the savings and they go buy a car. They get the savings and then they go buy Jordans. They get the savings and go buy dumb shit. You know what I mean? Instead of looking at what the market rate in the area is. Okay, the market rent is about $1,100, $1,200. Okay, I can get this place for $400, $500 a month. I can put that difference in a mutual fund. I can put the difference in something else that's gonna build wealth over time. But I'm gonna have Tommy Guns think the latter. Think, you know, I'm crazy. He gonna talk about statistics of bankruptcy in Atlanta and all this BS that don't even matter. You know, like I don't own Atlanta. All I know is my life. And Tommy Guns a trip. You don't get refunds on 1099s. You lay or don't owe. You lay or don't owe. Yes, you do get a 10. You can get a refund on a 1099. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. I swear, y'all need to go read. I don't know what to tell y'all. Some of y'all retarded. I can't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't want to call y'all retarded because I don't know none of y'all. But when somebody tells me you can't get a refund on a 1099, you can't get a refund on a 1099. Can't get a refund. Okay. Let me explain it to you. How you can get a refund on a 1099. Okay. I'm self-employed. When you're self-employed, you're supposed to pay quarterly estimated tax. So it's a quarterly estimated tax. So if you go through your books and you say, okay, I think I'm probably going to make, I got to go over here and get my trailer. I'm probably going to make about, I'm probably going to make about 50,000 this year. Just say I'm going to make 50,000. You can stand back and say, okay, 15% of 50,000 is about $7,500, right? So you take 7,500 and divide it by 12. How much is that? You divide that by 12. Well, no, you divide 7,500 by 4, and you send the government your estimated tax. So if you're short, you pay the difference. If you owe, if the government, if you pay too much in, you get a refund. So with a 1099, you can't get a refund. If you got a job, somewhere, you're a W-2 employee. That company does the same thing. They pay quarterly estimated tax. You just don't pay it directly. When you pay the FICA and Medicare and all that shit, that's the same thing. Well, most companies like a Walmart, a big major Fortune 500 companies, they pay taxes every 30 days because they have so much, their taxes are so much. You're talking about millions of dollars in taxes that they're paying. They pay it monthly. Corporations, they pay monthly. So they have to pay it monthly. But if you're a small business, you got to pay estimated. You can wait to the end of the year and maybe pay it at the end of the year. But the IRS is a small business. They want you to pay estimated quarterly taxes. So they want to see that you're paying something. So what is this thing we talking about? On a 1099, you going to pay taxes? Like, you really, that's what we doing? Y'all need to go read. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, y'all silly. Stop lying your ass off. You got the refund because of your mortgage. Without it, you wouldn't get nothing back as a 10. Okay, fine. I just went through all that I just said. I had over $120,000 in deduction. Out of the $120,000 deduction, only 5 of it is really? That's why I'm getting a refund because of my mortgage? If I just don't put the mortgage in there, I'm still going to get a refund, man. Still going to get a refund. I may be short maybe $500 to $1,000. And like, okay, let me add this to it. In the checking account that I got set up to pay taxes, as we speak, I got about $12,000 in there right now. Already paid in to the IRS about $10,000-$11,000 to the IRS. So if I get the refund, right? If I get the refund, that means the 12 plus the refund I'm gonna get. That means if I was a W-2 employee, I'd probably get like a $15,000 refund. If I look at it, because I take out 20% out of everything I do for taxes. So if I get that refund, I'm just gonna roll it over to the next year. Like what are we talking about, man? Like, all right, Tommy Guns, you smart ass. All right. 404 mad because he busted for lying. Okay. Like everything I just said, you can Google it. I ain't not lying. Everything what I said is you can prove whatever I'm saying. If you know how to use a calculator, you can prove everything that I'm saying. So if you got a business, right? If you got a business and you make X amount of dollars, say you make $200,000, you got $150,000 in deductions, which is left over $50,000 in quote unquote profit. How much do you pay taxes? You pay taxes on the $50,000. You can use a calculator and figure that out. It's no lying. You can't lie with that. How I'm lying? Okay, y'all know my truck note is $700 a week. You do $700 a week times 52. Write that down. I spent $35,000 in fuel. I had $5,000 on maintenance. I spent another $6,000 or $7,000 in insurance. I spent money here and I got my authority. I spent all this money getting my authority, base plates. I spent all that money doing all that stuff. That's all the deduction. So if I'm lying, like if you can prove, if you can just write that down and like understand what I'm saying, how can I be lying? There's no lying there. Tommy Gun say I don't know shit. Okay. 404 been caught lying lots of time. Okay. 404 is on point. Okay. All right, I'm about to get off here. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, credit cards alone cost more interest than a line of credit. Yeah, that is some truth, but just think about it. If you don't have it in the first place, well, it's you kind of you contradicting yourself. Because if you never have it in the first place to buy, what are we talking about? It's just like, okay, you want to get a truck, but you don't have $50,000 to get a truck. What you gonna do? You gonna save up $50,000 to get a truck? No, you're gonna go to a bank and get a loan, and then you use the profit from the truck to pay the truck off. What are you talking about? That's how the world works. Walmart is 90% credit based. All their inventory in their warehouses is 90% credit based. All they use is credit. Walmart is a $150 billion company. You trying to tell me they're not making profit off the credit? Come on. You go and get a truck. The truck is $50,000. You go get a little trailer. You get a trailer $10,000. You got $60,000 in equipment. You may pay about $1,800 a month in equipment costs, okay, for your truck. You're gonna gross $20,000 a month for the truck. $20,000 a month minus $4,000 a month in fuel, $1,800 a month for your truck and trailer. What do you got left? Profit. You can pay that credit card off. You can eat. You can do all that stuff because you use credit. You got a loan. Like if you blessed enough to have some cash, hey, that's you. But I never had nothing. I wasn't born into no money. I grew up in the hood, projects. Okay, so for me to get to this point to where I got a truck and trailer, I got a business that's grossing $22,000 a month. To me, having a mortgage, having a couple cars with some debt on it, having a truck and trailer with some debt is nothing. Because I know if I didn't have the debt, I wouldn't have the shit anyway. So, like, guys be acting like as if they do it another way, then you'll be in a better position. Like, no, man. No. You go be a company job, get a company driver job and make $1,000 a week, right? Right. All right, let me finish these videos off. I got to get off of here. Credit cards make you a slave. Credit cards don't make you a slave, man. It's the person that's using the credit cards that makes them a slave. I use credit cards, okay? I use American Express to buy fuel. I pay my fuel bill off every week. Maybe every 2 weeks. So at the end of 2 weeks, I'll log on my account. Once I get the payments from my loads, I'll go in there and just pay the bill off. That's it. I'm not rolling a balance every month on a credit card for my truck. I don't do that. But that's me. That's me being responsible. But if you're a person out there that's got credit cards and you just running up debt and thinking you don't have to pay that money back, that's not the credit card. That's you. That's not the credit card. Don't blame it on the credit card. Blame it on yourself. Oh, I got in debt because the credit card jumped out of my pocket and paid for all this stuff. No, you got the credit card out your pocket and you swiped it and you didn't pay the bill. Just like with ATBS I was talking about. Like, guys want to blame ATBS when they don't want to take responsibility and say that, oh yeah, I didn't run my business properly. Just say it like that. Yeah, I don't know how to run my business. That's what you're saying. But folk ain't going to say that. Folk ain't going to say, oh, I don't know how to run my business. They're going to blame it on somebody else. Oh, the factoring company stole all my money. Oh, the broker didn't pay me on the load. The American Express card. I went into debt with American Express card. Don't use American Express. It's going to put you in debt. Look, dude, I use credit to make money. That's it. And if you a fool, you running up debt and not paying, that's your fault. Like, people are a trip. Y'all fools following his advice. I've listened to Clueless and things he talks about on trucking, his dumb ass using a 30-year mortgage. Listen, Jack Love, I just told you when I bought the house, I was like 24 years old. I was ignorant to the fact of 30-year mortgages. I was ignorant for that fact. But when you get a house, you just can't give it back. Yeah, I can sell it, but I'm going to have to pay to live somewhere anyway. But I'm trying to speak sense to somebody who don't have no sense. They just looking at oh, you got a 30-year mortgage. Yeah, but you got to pay somebody to live somewhere. So okay, it's like, okay, like if somebody offered you a $600 a month mortgage, you trying to tell me now, you trying to tell me if rent is $1,200 a month over here, somebody offered you an apartment for $1,200 a month, but then somebody offered you a mortgage for $600 a month. You trying to tell me you wouldn't take the $600 a month mortgage? That's what you trying to tell me? I can rent my house out in Atlanta for at least $1,000, $1,100 a month for 30 years. I can rent it out for 30 years. I got control of the situation. I got control. I can rent it out. I can do whatever I want with that house. With a rent, you just paying rent. You can't write that off. You can't do nothing with it. But I'm going to have Jack Love tell me, oh, well, you got a mortgage. It's $600 a month. $600 a month. $600 a month. Really? But market rents are $1,200 a month. So, in your defense, you would agree with me if I was to get a $1,200 a month rent, right? That's what you want me to do. That makes a whole lot of sense, right? Get $1,200 a month rent. Oh, you stupid. You got a $600 a month mortgage. Really, dog? Like, okay. But like I said, what I'm telling you here today, I didn't always know what I know today. So back in 2005, 2006, when I bought that house, I had no idea. I had no idea. Just a black dude in America wanted a house. I didn't know nothing about mutual funds. I didn't know nothing about that stuff. Okay? So after reading and learning and stuff like that, I found out that getting a mortgage was a dumb mistake. I should have found a house and paid cash for it. That's what I should have did. So, in your defense, yes, a mortgage isn't a good idea, but you're going to have to pay to live somewhere. And it's not too bad to have a mortgage that's $600 a month. I'm not paying $1,200 a month. I'm not paying $1,300, $1,400 a month. I'm paying $600 a month for my mortgage. So, my mortgage principal and interest is $450 a month. I can show y'all the bank statement. I can show y'all my mortgage statement. I can show you. It's $450. That's the principal and interest. Then with the property taxes and insurance and the escrow account, it comes up to about 600 and change, like 601 and some change. So the property insurance is like 70, and property taxes probably like $80, $90 in property taxes, coming up about $600 and change. So I don't see how that's a dumb mistake. Now, long term, 30 years, when you're talking about paying interest over 30 years, yes, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I don't advocate that. My videos, you never ever gonna tell me to. You never gonna hear me in my videos tell guys to go get a 30-year mortgage. You never gonna hear me tell that. You never gonna hear me tell guys to go do that. I don't advocate 30-year mortgages. If you do get one on the 15-year that's only 25% of your income. If we want to talk about mortgages, my channel isn't a real estate channel. I talk about trucking. So I don't know how we got on this mortgage stuff. So you trying to discredit me by saying, oh, well, I got a mortgage? Yeah, but it's only $600 a month. I can pay $600 a month in my sleep. All I got to do is run one load. I can find the shittiest load out here and pay a $600 a month mortgage payment. You know what I mean? And on top of that, it's not market. Like market rents in the area is like $1,000, $1,200 a month, man. So all right, well, I'm about to get off here. I mean, I know I'm a debt slave, and just like guys talking about I'm a debt slave, but why y'all watch my videos for then? Like y'all messed my video up. Y'all got me all angry and upset with y'all. You don't understand how loans versus credit cards work. Tommy Guns, when the hell have I ever talked about getting a mortgage in my videos? I never told nobody to go get no mortgage in my videos. I don't know where you must be confused. You must be confused. You must be confused. You are really confused. As part of a retirement investment plan long term, I don't suggest nobody to go get no mortgage, man. I don't suggest that. I never suggest that. I want you to send me the video for that, because I can go through my videos. I don't got no videos talking about that, man. You may have misunderstood me. Like, I tell guys to find a property that's cheap and get a 3 or 4 or 5 year personal loan and buy the house and get the deed to it. That's what I suggest. Like, you can go to your bank and get a personal signature loan for about $30,000 or $40,000 and buy you a $30,000, $40,000 house. There's plenty of houses out here that's $30,000, $40,000. Okay, You find a house that need a little bit of work, you put a little roof on it, you put some paint on it, and the house will be brand new, man. You sitting there with $100,000 house. You know what I'm saying? You can pay that note off in like 3, 4, 5 years, man, instead of 30. You will never ever hear me tell anybody to go get a mortgage. I never told nobody to get a mortgage. I don't know where you seen that in my videos. I don't know where you see that. You may have misunderstood me telling guys, you know, using credit cards and stuff like that, but nah, that ain't you misunderstood. There's a process. You got to be real strategic in how you do it. You can use a credit card to buy a house, yes, but you got to be strategic in how you do it. You know, like, nah, man, nah, that ain't a long situation. Like, you can get money off a credit card, okay, to buy a house. The reasons why I use a credit card to buy a house is because you got to have proof of funds. I take the money off the credit card, put the money in my checking account so I have proof of funds. So I can prove to the real estate agent that I have money, I have cash. You play that little game with them, okay? And I use the credit card to fix the house up, okay? I buy some flooring, buy some paint, stuff like that. Those are very small bills, like $5,000, $2,000, $3,000. You know what I mean? Put a new roof on the house, it's about $4,000. That's very small. That's very small. Once I put a tenant in there, in about 2 to 3 years, they're gonna pay that off, man. No, you misunderstood. Like, no, you gotta be you taking things of what I say out of context and trying to you trying to discredit what I'm saying. Of course, I do only mortgage broker for 15 years. Just search how to pay mortgage off fast. There's no real way to really pay off a mortgage other than just doubling up on the payments. You know, I say the best way to pay a mortgage off fast is to sell it. I mean, if you really want to joke around about it, yeah, just sell the goddamn thing. Sad you've been a mortgage broker and still don't know how to pay off mortgage faster than using credit card. But anyway, oh man, it's a lot of stuff going on. But hey man, this video been going on and on. I gotta get my trail and get out of here. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching my video, man. Yeah, I know. Tommy Guns, it's all good entertainment, man. Get an effing mortgage? No, don't get no mortgage, man. Don't get no mortgage. I suggest if you want to get a house, this is the plan to how to get a house, how I think you should get a house. Work on your credit. Work on your credit. Get your credit up to about a 720, a 730. Once you get your credit up to about a 720 and 730, go to your bank and see if you can get a signature loan. Get a 5%, 6% signature loan. You probably might end up getting about 10%. Get you a signature loan for about 30 to 40,000. They're gonna give you cash. Get that cash and go shopping for a house for about 30 to 40,000, and pay that 30, 40,000 off in about 3 years, man. You will have a paid for a house in 3 to 5 years instead of 30. That's how I think you should buy a house. Sell something, sell a car, whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. Buy that house for about 30, 40,000. You're going to walk in the door with instant equity. You can turn around and sell that house for about 70, 80, 90, 100,000. Okay. Sell the house, take the take the gains off that house, the gains, the profit that you made off that, and put it into another one. Okay, it takes some time, but over time, once you get the gains off it, and you're gonna have to pay taxes on capital gains, but you can do a rollover. You can roll that over into another house, so you don't pay the taxes on it. But that's how I think you should buy a house. And eventually you can probably work up towards that $150,000 house. But I mean, I don't think guys should put all their time and effort into houses and stuff like that, because, you know, it's houses, man. A lot of people just put too much on houses, man. I don't agree with that. But hey, man, let me get out of here, man. I'll see y'all next time.